what the big deal about Cracker Jack is. Did you ever go and buy a pack of Cracker Jack thinking you're going to get a prize and find no prize in the box?
You got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me.
Freehand is beating his net at the plate. Crawford is over there watching. Good see, sir. You're in the wrong seat, buddy. Come on. Oh, I must be in the front row.
The Tigers offered a record $19 million in arbitration to Tarik Skubal. It was perceived as an incredible lowball offer by many Tigers fans. And,
insulting.
Yeah, an insulting offer when compared to what the Scott Boras and Skubal were requesting, $32 million, which would be another record in arbitration. The funny part about this happened about a week ago, and immediately I had been listening to Detroit Sports Talk Radio, and got some text messages from friends that are Tigers fans, and everyone had the same perception. Callers, radio hosts who should know better, my friends who might not know about the intricacies of MLB's arbitration process, but everyone assumed that was such a lowball offer to Tarik Skubal by the Tigers that it was just embarrassing. And it simply is not true. And we're a week into this now, and people are finally figuring this out. But the initial reaction I thought was hilarious, and I felt kind of on an island for a while as everyone was bashing Chris Ilitch and Scott Harris, but the whole idea that everyone's looking at like, oh, the Tigers paid Alex Cobb $15 million last year to do nothing, and they're only trying to give Tarik Skubal, the best pitcher on the planet, $19 million. Those are two completely different markets. The arbitration market is completely separate from the open market of free agency, and literally it is you can debate the merits of it, but it is designed for owners, team owners, to suppress salaries. They keep players for 6 years. They're eligible for arbitration in years 4, 5, and 6. And that is a way to give those players more money than what they were getting at the league minimum if they perform. But it keeps them far below the idea of the open market of free agency, where things have obviously exploded. We can debate whether that's a bad thing or a good thing, but those are the rules. And in fact, the Tigers aren't even unilaterally deciding the offer they give them. Those rules are based on MLB Labor Relations Board guidelines. The offer that the Tigers gave is based on precedent. The whole idea is MLB and all the owners are trying to keep those arbitration deals as low as possible, because that's the only way they can control costs at this point. And again, we'll get to the larger point, but this is all going to get blown up because of our looming labor strife, the new CBA negotiations. But literally what is happening is, this is Scott Boras, who, I mean, Tony Clark is the president of the Players Association, but by all practical purposes, Scott Boras runs the Players Association. He's the one that makes them billions and billions of dollars. Scott Boras is firing the first shot in these labor negotiations that we're going to hear about over and over again all year long, that will ultimately lead to a lockout just under a year from now, most likely at the beginning of December. It's so obvious what was happening, and nobody got it immediately, and I think people are getting it now, which I appreciate at least. But the idea that the Tigers were just trying to, basically people are like feeding into the narrative that Chris Ilitch is cheap, which is just boring and not true. They just saw the $19 million offer to Skubal, which would double his salary. It would double his salary this year, and it'd be a near record for a pitcher. They based that on David Price, which was 11 years ago now. He made $19.75 million in arbitration. $32 million is so outrageous, but it's just a number an agent and the player can throw out there if they want. They clearly did not reach an agreement or find a middle ground. So it will go to arbitration now, unless they find a way to mediate things and come to an agreement. The thing with the arbitration case is they listen to the team's case, they listen to the player's case, and they look at history and precedent, but they don't come up with a compromise. They either take the player's offer or the team's offer. It's either or. So Skubal's either getting 19 million or he's getting 32 million. But what Scott Boras is trying to do is completely blow up the arbitration system. That is, you could say, I don't disagree with him. It's artificially suppressed revenue or suppress salaries for players. So I don't blame him for doing it, but this is, people need to understand the larger picture. This is all about the looming labor strife. So keep the Tigers out of it. Keep Skubal out of it. This is Major League Baseball fighting the Players Association. It happens to be with a theme of Skubal and the arbitration case. Has this been national news at all? I'm so insulated.
I have not heard a thing about this till you just talked about it.
Okay, that's interesting because I mean, Skubal's the best pitcher on the planet. It's it's the precursor to the labor strife. So I thought maybe it'd make more national news, or I could see why it wouldn't mean much in Chicago. But I don't know. I probably already talked about it too much, but we're going to be talking about things like this over and over again as the season progresses, as we get closer and closer to the CBA deadline or expiration date on December 1st. Sorry to bore you people already. For some reason, I find this fascinating. So buckle up. But I guess I just wanted to put out there, there's a larger context to this whole thing. It's not just the Tigers and Skubal fighting. And it sounds like, from everything I've heard, like Skubal is not going to be pissed either way. He's like, this is business. Like, we had to do this. I'm going to pitch my ass off next year. You're going to get the best out of me. I'm not worried about that at all, which is awesome because we fucking need him.
Post-game show is brought to you by Christ, I can't find it. The hell with it.
One guy poured beer all over my head. The guy said, how can you take that? I said, look, that man didn't do nothing. He poured some beer on my head. He's just showing he's a White Sox fan. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Sparky, a million thanks for, as always, the most interesting interview. And now today, let's just have a lot of thrilling baseball and not so many fisticuffs.
We're at home.